What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to part 2. That's 2 of the Ford Danger Ranger, or as some people would say, the Ford Ranger. But we got all the gasket surface cleaned up. We got everything like washed down and all that. Don't worry, we're doing an oil change on this too. I do recommend doing it because you're going to get coolant in the oil. There's no doubt about it. Just the way this is set up, you're gonna do it. But we did get the bolt out, or the broken bolt out. It was right in there somewhere. I know it's dark, you probably can't see, but it was right there. But we got that out, and I will show it to you. Well, I was gonna show it to you, and now I don't know where it's at. Well, but we got it out, and we got a new bolt coming. I went ahead and got 6 of them because I might replace all the 13mm bolts on this. And then we got the cover cleaned up, and I wanted to show y'all one thing. See, I've got these channels in here. That's why they leak so bad. If they would have made this a solid piece, I think it would have helped eliminate a lot of the coolant leaking, especially because it always comes up, and it seems like up around here, or right here on this corner. You don't really see it leaking right there too much, but it's mostly the top corners. So we're going to fill that cavity up with some silicone, and I would recommend the same thing. But it took me about 45 minutes just to clean all this gasket surface up. You can see I got my carbide scrapers and razor blade, and I just went over it front and back, you can see right there, and scraped it as good as I could. Try not to get it dirty again. We're going to put it in here so that I can knock this seal out, and the way we're going to do that, we're just going to use a screwdriver and pop it in right there, and it should knock it straight out. Now we'll put a little bit of silicone around the new seal as well. We did get the kit with the repair sleeve. I think it was like $3 more, and main reason I did that was because I wanted to make sure that nothing was bad on here. So if yours needs the repair sleeve, you'll have it. Mine doesn't really look like it needs it all that much because of the way that it goes on. I think it goes around the harmonic balancer. I got the harmonic balancer right, yeah. But mine don't really look too bad. Ain't all scarred up and doesn't really have anything bad looking on it. But we're gonna have to try to knock this pulley off of that too. So that's my next steps, is to knock that pulley off of there and go ahead and knock this seal out. I'm gonna try to set y'all up so y'all can watch me pop the seal in and out. See, this is so no, I didn't show it, but I just had to smash the outside of it like you normally do. It wouldn't go through on the inside. So I'm gonna kind of clean this up a little bit, make sure everything is good, then we'll tap the new seal in. I will show me tapping that in. It's pretty easy. They do have these big lips right here on there, so just hammer it down until they just touch that little lip right there. Here's the new seal. Just butt them up, make sure they're the same. Diameter on the outside looks to be about the same, but the inside diameter is the most important part. If this overhangs a little bit, that's fine. And like I said, I'm going to put a little bit of RTV silicone just on the outside of it. Don't need much. Just putting a thin layer on it. It does just help seal it up a little bit better, keep it from leaking and moving around on you as well. I gotta clean the finger off real quick. So you can see I got a little bit of silicone on it. Kind of get it kind of started in there. I don't know if I can get it. Let me get it started pretty good and then I'll show you the rest. I didn't expect for it to go down in there like that, but to get it started I had to put a piece of wood on there and hit it pretty hard right here like that, and then it just popped right in. So sorry I didn't get to show you all that, but that's all I did is put that on top, use a rubber mallet and hit it. But just make sure it's seated down all the way, and we will clean this off. And make sure you put a little bit of lube or something up inside here so it doesn't start out dry. And we'll test our crank in here, or crank pulley I should say, to see how tight it is. Seems pretty good. I'll show you the kit number here in a minute, but this is the sleeve. I know I'm moving y'all all around. And it just slides around it. Put this in here to see how this fits. It is a lot tighter, so I may end up doing that. But I'm gonna hammer it. You gotta push it down and you want to tap that on. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and use that. And of course you can throw it up here. Move it down here. So you're just going to tap it around until it goes down on there, and it's just got a little bit more to go, and then we'll finish it off. We got it down on the crank now, and next thing we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start putting my gasket on right here. And it's got two little dowels, one's right here, one's down right there, and so you can line it up. I'm going to put a little bit of silicone around it. Here's the gasket, but we're going to put a little bit of silicone around it, and I believe it goes this way. That's what it looks like. Yep. So I'm going to put a little bit of silicone on the back of it just to help hold it up there while we put the timing cover on as well. So that way, and what I'm going to do is actually stick some of the water pump bolts through on the bigger holes to help line it up, just to make sure that the gasket isn't moving on us. Alright, so got the gasket on there. It's been sitting for a few minutes, and I put some silicone down at the mating surfaces in the corners of the oil pan and where the gasket meet. Then I put some on the oil pan gasket on the bottom as well. I'll put a little bit of grease inside of the seal right here. And now this stuff out of the way. It's gotta find the dowels. That's what I'm trying to do. Well, I think I got it. I did put some sealer on the threads on these, because I do believe they're going into water jackets. I'm not quite sure what this one was, but I figured I'd go ahead and do the same for it. I'm going slow as if I happen to be off of the dial, it doesn't break it. Oh, so there's no telling how much one of these timing covers costs. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and thread in the bottom one a little bit better. Just until it touches, and then I'm going to run the other side in. I'll tighten this one up before I tighten up that bottom one. Okay, that one is a 10. Like I said, I'm not torquing these down just yet, because I haven't even looked at the torque spec, but I'm just running them down just to get them on here. All right. Now we're going to go in from the bottom and put these two bottom ones on. That's a good sign. Just threading in pretty easy. This one is too good. To me, the hardest part of this job is getting this power stem bracket off and the AC compressor stuff. Getting everything else off pretty straightforward, but that's just me. Alright, so I'm going to look up the torque specs on these real quick, then I'm probably going to torque them on, and then we'll move on to putting the water pump on here. We got the water pump and the timing cover on. I still got to torque down these little bolts right here. You can see they're still sticking out. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Those torque to 89 inch-pounds. The 13 millimeters, those torque to 18 foot-pounds. And the 10 millimeters on the front of the pulley, those right there torque to 18 foot-pounds as well. Pretty much everything torques to 18 foot-pounds on this. The brackets that hold this, the AC compressor, all that stuff, all that is 18 foot-pounds. And I just got to do the little bolts, like I said before, the little bolts that hold the brake position sensor. I don't have a brain fart moments here, people, sorry about that. Right there. That right there torques to I think it was like, I looked that up again. I won't say it's 89 inch-pounds too. As you can see, most of it's 89 inch-pounds. So just don't over torque any of this stuff. I'm just going to torque those down. Next step after that is I'm going to go ahead and start hooking up all my hoses. You got your two heater hoses, a lower radiator hose down here. Then I'm going to put my harmonic balancer on as well, and then I'm going to hook up the wire that connects to the harmonic balancer, not harmonic balancer, but crank sensor. Like I said, today is off day for me, but you know, it's starting off good, so I'm not complaining too much. But we're going to go ahead and feed that down through here. And if I remember correctly, I think this just attaches right there, and then it attaches to the sensor. Come on, get on there. I hold my mouth right or something. There we go. Then we can throw that one on there. Then all we gotta do is just start putting hoses and harmonic balancer on. I'm going to put these hoses on, and I'm going to change the thermostat while we're in here. It's just 2 10 millimeters, and then we'll pull this off and put the new one on. And then, like I said, before I close out the video, I will show you all the part numbers and all that stuff. where we're at now is got both heater hoses on, thermostat in, got all the water pump bolts torqued, timing cover bolts torqued, and next step that I want to do now is to attempt to get this bracket on here. And once we do that, next step would be to put the harmonic balancer on, all your tensioners and that stuff, and then radiator will be next, along with the fan shroud and the fan. Let me hook this back up. I did have to take that loose to get this hose on because I couldn't get my pliers in there to squeeze it. But got all this on. Like I said, next the feat I'm going to try to accomplish is this bracket right here that houses the power steering pump. And the way we're going to do this, we'll have to hold this up while we stick this in there and kind of put one bolt in there. And the bolts, the longest bolt goes right here on the top. It goes into the top hole right there. I think that is the biggest threaded bolt as well. But don't forget to put this bracket for your fuel line through the back AC line as well. We got the idler on, the tensioner on, AC compressor, the power steering bracket, got the lower radiator hose, the heater hoses, the hose that runs from the lower radiator hose to the filler neck, and got this button back up. I just got to go ahead and do this now so you can watch. Put the AC compressor connector back on, and now ready to throw the harmonic balancer back on. Now I did put a little bit of silicone right there where the woodruff key goes, and that right there is just to ensure that it goes on and it stays and it doesn't do anything weird. It's just a good habit to do. I've always done it and I've always been taught to do it. So let me get this started on and I'll show you how we'll actually get in there and tighten it the rest of the way. So we started the harmonic balancer on, and then there is on the end of this right here, it threads into the snout of the crank, and then you put this little adapter piece right here against it, and it's got like a roller bearing in there, and then this piece right here with the big nut that looks like right there, that right there rides on the roller bearing, and you turn that and hold the smaller portion, and then you just turn it while you're holding that right there, and it pushes it on. Sorry, I was reaching down and kind of groaning a little bit, but that's how that works. And just you put it in there and you just thread it in. I don't know how well y'all will be able to see it. I don't know if I can kind of set up something or what. At least it didn't go into the oil bucket. You're going to move that out of the way. A little better. We're just turning a big portion and it's walking it on. That's pretty much it. Let me get it pushed on and pushed up in there a little bit further, and whenever I get ready to finish it out, I'm sweating a lot and I'm tired. But whenever I finish this out, go to put the bolt in there, I'll bring y'all back and we will torque this bolt down. So we got it on, and I just threaded it all the way until it stopped and bottomed out. Then I started the bolt and ran it in. It moved in maybe 1/8 of an inch after I put the bolt in there. But whenever you do this, it only torques to 107 foot-pounds, so I haven't torqued it down yet. And I can about hold that down with the belt enough to torque this down. So you can kind of like put pressure on the belt and you should be able to torque it, because it's not really much. I mean, lug nuts torque to more than this. But we have it on, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to put the pulley on. I can keep from dropping all the bolts. I have to go clean these up along with this and inside of here because it is disgusting. But these only torque to 46 foot-pounds. There's the box to your thermostat inside of here. But so I'm gonna clean these up, put these on, torque them down, then I'm gonna put the belt on. And then after I put the belt on, I'll torque down the center bolt and these right here. But I'm gonna run these down and get them as tight as I can, just the ratchet. And then when I put the belt on, we'll torque everything down. But let me clean all this up. You're ready to put the belt on, and the belt diagram is over here, right in here. And the 3 liter, 4 liter, and 2.3 liter are all on there. And the way that this one goes is I'm going to start here at the alternator. It's going to go over, then it's going to go under the idler, but we're going to leave it over it for the time being. On top of the AC compressor, go around the power steering pump down to the crank, then it's going to come around the crank to the tensioner to the water pump. And the reason I left it straight across here so I can like loosen the tensioner, and then we can put it around the idler. To me, that is just the easiest way because the belt holds itself. Gotta see which way this goes. Okay, we're going the right way. And there we go. Just that simple. Like I said, here are the belt diagrams right there. That's the one we need. The alternator, idler, AC, power steering, crank is at the bottom. Come around to the tensioner, then that right there is your water pump. So, got the belt on. Now I'm going to go and torque both of those down there. Like I said, we can probably hold it down enough to torque this. So let me get set up and I'll show you how I'm going to do this. Okay, my battery is about to die. If it dies on me, I'll redo it, but I'm just going to hold it right here. So I can get it to stay on the nut bolt. Okay, there it goes. Alright, see, that right there was the 107 foot-pounds, and the other bolts, I know I can get those, so I'm going to torque those real quick. Those only torque to 46, so let me go ahead and torque those down, and then after we do this, we're going to start putting the radiator and the fan and fence shroud in, then fill it up with coolant, hook all our air intake tubes and all that good stuff, and crank her up and hope for the best. Alright, so we got it all back together. I bet we have 2 gallons of coolant here. I know we're going to need more because a lot more came out of it when I drained it. And then we got fresh oil, fresh filter on here. And now it's time to try to crank her up for the first time. Keys. It has 132,569 on it, by the way. Just the door jar lights. Now we're going to try not to fall for one, but I'm going to add more coolant to it right now, just because I know it's sucking it down a good bit. But now we're just going to keep an eye on it and make sure everything is good on there. We're going to make sure that all the coolant, all the levels of everything is good, and everything was the way it was before we started this, minus the water leak. So we're going to kind of keep an eye on everything, make sure nothing's leaking coolant too. So while we're waiting on it to warm up and come up to temperature, I'm going to go over some part numbers. So here's the filter I use, MicroGuard MGL 51516. Timing cover set is a Cellpro, I believe it is. The part number is TCS 45973. Thermostat gasket is 35390 because it does not come with one. Thermostat is 3838 from Murray. And water pump right here is C251850. So that is pretty much everything minus oil. We just used a full synthetic 520. Put 5 quarts in. I do have to check it again after it comes up to temperature and it cools down and stuff. But I think it's 5.5, somewhere around there that this takes. But this is pretty much all the parts. We've been keeping an eye on it. It's been running for probably 15 minutes now, and we got the cap on it. Let it build up some pressure, because that way we can tell if it's leaking anywhere if it's building up pressure. But this is pretty much doing this job without pulling the engine or taking the oil pan off. You can do it. It may take you a little bit longer to do it that way, maybe a little shorter depending on how you do things, but can do it. Not a horrible job, I would say. I was thinking it was going to be bigger. I have changed water pumps on these before, never a timing cover, so I was thinking it was going to be a little bit bigger of a job. Like I said, the hardest thing for me was getting this bracket right here off, just for the 2 bolts to go in this way. Other than that, pretty much like pulling a radiator and pulling a water pump on one of these. But if y'all got any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. Got any tips or tricks for anybody who's wanting to do this job, or for me for next time, let me know. I will thoroughly enjoy those, and it does help out other people as well. Thank you for all my members, subscribers, Patreons, all that good stuff. People who use my affiliate links, which they will be sent down in the description below. And at the beginning of the video, if you watched it to this point, I will post a link to the first one, and then in the first video, I will put a link to the second video in the comment section. But thank y'all to everybody, and y'all remember, torque is tight, and y'all have a great day.